All right, y'all, we are back with another video, and y'all, it seems like it's happening. They said that Joe Biden has been facing calls for his removal after his damning special counsel's report. It seems like it's over with. Joe Biden is done. I mean, everybody is talking about it. The man can't remember anything. They said he couldn't even remember the time when he was vice president. And then another thing is that I don't like, they literally didn't charge Joe Biden for the documents. Basically just let him go. Didn't charge him. But they still trying to charge Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is like, if y'all gonna drop the charges on Joe Biden, y'all need to drop the charges on me. But they won't do that. So they trying to use this dementia thing with Joe Biden. I guess is the reason why they don't want to charge him, because they saying he don't remember anything. But now it seemed like it got way worse, like with the falling, not remembering stuff. And now it's all over Fox News that said that Biden is facing calls for his removal. They trying to get him up out of there. So like I said, we're going to go ahead and dive straight into it. Make sure y'all hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. Shout out to the one that always watches the entire video, because it really, really helps out a lot. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and dive straight into this. What I'm going to do is I want y'all to really see this video from Fox News. I'm going to let the whole entire video play, and I'll let y'all know what I think about it in the end, all right? So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight into this.
Badly damaged box in the president's Delaware garage surrounded by household items. Nevertheless, Hur did not bring criminal charges against the president because he would, quote, likely present himself to a jury as a sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. The president, looking to quell this political firestorm, defended his mental fitness at a news conference Thursday.
I'm well-meaning, and I'm an elderly man, and I know what the hell I'm doing. I've been president, and I put this country back on its feet.
But in that same news conference, the president mistakenly referred to Egypt's president as the president of Mexico.
No. Initially, the president of Mexico, Sisi, did not want to open up the gate to allow humanitarian material to get in.
The president's age and mental capabilities are some of his biggest vulnerabilities as he seeks a second term. But one Republican lawmaker questions whether the president is even fit to hold office now.
President Biden needs to be charged, or he needs to be removed from office under the 25th Amendment. There isn't a middle ground here. It's one or the other. You either have to prosecute him, or he has to be removed under the 25th Amendment. That's why I sent this letter.
Meantime, former President Trump says the Justice Department should drop the charges against him in his classified documents case, given Hur's decision not to charge President Biden. Hur says there are distinct differences between the two probes, with Trump allegedly refusing to turn in materials and enlisting others to destroy evidence. President Biden is hosting the German chancellor this afternoon before leaving for Delaware. He will likely face more questions about this report. Carly and Todd.
All right, Madeline Rivera, live for us in Washington. Maddie, thank you so much. Let's bring in Mark Smith, who is the constitutional attorney and former member of President Trump's transition team. Mark, good morning to you. What do you make of these findings by Robert Hur not to recommend charges? And he based it on the fact that President Biden could be sympathetic to a jury and they would find it difficult to convict.
Well, big picture, this was absolutely a terrible day for the anti-Trump lawfare movement in America. The fact is that this special counsel, appointed by the Biden administration, by the way, concluded that Joe Biden should not be charged. When keep in mind that Joe Biden had these documents when he was a senator and the vice president. Now, that is distinctly different than the documents that Donald Trump had, because Donald Trump was the commander-in-chief as the president, and thus he had the constitutional authority to declassify whatever he wanted. That was not an authority that Joe Biden had. So the fact that Jack Smith has indicted President Trump and used the FBI to raid Mar-a-Lago, and yet they're going to let Joe Biden, really get out of jail free card here, it shows a double standard that I think is not going to be lost on anyone, that this Department of Justice through their special counsels is helping the Democrats and Joe Biden, and they're hurting Donald Trump. That's not how justice is supposed to work, and that is certainly not how justice appears to be going right now with the distinct disparities between how these two cases are being handled.
Sticking with that line of thinking, Mark, I argue that if the DOJ really considered this serious, they would have charged Joe Biden regardless of his incapacity, regardless of his mental fitness, regardless of all those arguments that Hur made in his report. And I think, Mark, that should clear Trump under equal application of the law. Do you agree?
I do, Todd. If you think about it, it really doesn't matter that Joe Biden today has mental issues. What matters, at least for the purposes of the law here, what matters is at the time that he was engaging in these alleged crimes, he had his mental prowess intact. Right? So it doesn't matter what he thinks about today when it comes to this crime. It's what was he thinking? And the special counsel report, Todd, specifically says that they found that Joe Biden willfully violated the law. He willfully kept these classified documents after he left office. So I agree with you. This double standard of justice is going to stand out not just politically, but I think legally, because keep in mind that Judge Cannon down there in Florida has really been looking carefully at this Jack Smith prosecution of President Trump. And this, I think, is only going to help her or cause her to look more carefully with greater scrutiny of what's going on there in the Jack Smith case against President Trump.
Yeah. Well, things really escalated overnight because now Merrick Garland has been formally asked to explore invoking the 25th Amendment to remove President Biden from office. What does he do with that request? Where do you see that going?
Well, I think the reality is that Merrick Garland has demonstrated, unfortunately, himself to be essentially a lawyer for Joe Biden. That is the harsh reality here. And I don't think a request to the Biden Department of Justice to look into the 25th Amendment is going to go anywhere. So if anyone were interested in exploring that question, it would likely have to be Congress. But I seriously doubt that anyone in the Department of Justice is going to do anything that would hurt the Biden reelection campaign. There's just no evidence based on what we've seen over the last several years as to how this DOJ treats, again, Democrats, Joe Biden, versus how they treat Donald Trump and Donald Trump's associates. Totally different standards of justice. And I don't think we'll see anything different when it comes to this question about Joe Biden's mental health and the 25th Amendment question.
I'm glad you said the word associates, because there's been a lot of talk, a lot of analysis about what happened over the last couple of hours. One thing you're not hearing a lot about, Joe Biden's ghostwriter. Out of all of this, the failure to charge that ghostwriter who literally destroyed evidence upon learning of the special counsel investigation, to me, Mark, is the thing that hurts Jack Smith's case against Trump the most. 30 seconds to you.
I think that's right. And again, keep in mind that the documents that Donald Trump had as the former president, commander-in-chief, were held at Mar-a-Lago, where it was surrounded by Secret Service agents protecting President Trump. In contrast, Joe Biden had these documents apparently in a garage with old cars. So clearly, the way these things were being treated by Donald Trump versus Joe Biden was a lot more careless, and yet he's not being charged, but Donald Trump is. Two standards of justice. It's not appropriate for America.
Yeah, and then there are, of course, the political implications of all of this. The cover of the New York Post says in big, bold letters, elderly man with a poor memory, a quote from these Jack Hur findings, or Robert Hur findings. And it's not just Americans who are seeing this. It's also everybody in the world, including bad actors, and that may be one of the most concerning parts of it all. Mark, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Mark. Great insight.
As we can see, they literally just trying to use that Joe Biden, his mental and stuff. They're trying to use that as a way of not charging him. And this right here is just dead wrong, the way that Donald Trump is being treated, and they just letting Joe Biden just get off. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to charge Donald Trump with these documents, you need to charge Joe Biden with the documents. But they're trying to let Joe Biden get off, and it is just unbelievable how they doing this. This is crazy. I mean, I just cannot believe this. This man needs to be removed now. And I hope Judge Eileen Cannon, because she's been pretty fair with Donald Trump and stuff. And now I know this right here is going to show enough make her look more and more into what they trying to do, into what Jack Smith is trying to do to Donald Trump. I really feel like this is the opportunity that Judge Eileen Cannon, hopefully that she throw this case out. Because if y'all not going to charge Joe Biden, you know what I'm saying? Because at the time, he wasn't doing all this falling and not remembering and stuff. So you just going to let him get out of that? You know what I'm saying? They trying to let him just get out of it. Just drop his charges. But leave Donald Trump charged. Letting Jack Smith run this false narrative. So I hope that Judge Eileen Cannon throw this crap out so it can be fair. You can't just charge one with documents and then just let the other one just go. Joe Biden committed a crime. He broke the law. And then y'all just let it go. Just drop it. And then they trying to bring up the excuse, well, Donald Trump's is different from what Joe Biden did. No, Joe Biden took them documents. He broke the law. So you got to charge him if you're going to try to charge Donald Trump. So hopefully that Joe Biden gets removed, because it looked like that's what's going on, because Fox News has been blowing up lately about they are trying to get Joe Biden out of there. They trying to get him up out of there. But like I said, y'all let me know what y'all think about this. I just feel like they trying to make an excuse for Joe Biden, trying to use because he's falling. He can't remember none. He couldn't remember when he was vice president. They trying to use all of this, you know what I'm saying, as a distraction on why they dropped his charges. But they still want to sit here and try to charge Donald Trump, though, after Joe Biden committed a crime himself. And I mean, come on, man. The man just cannot get a break. Donald Trump cannot get a break. They won't be fair with him. Won't be fair. But you want to just let Joe Biden just ride off in the sunset and use, because he's falling and he's doing this and he's doing that, as an excuse to drop his charges, because that's exactly what they did. I told y'all, I've been saying this every video, that they're going to try to do anything they can to take out Donald Trump. And I've been saying this for the longest. This stuff just isn't fair. You drop Joe Biden charges, drop Donald Trump charges then. Like I said, y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think about this. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.